Rick, the intensity on defense has kind of been an early story in training camp. What's your thoughts on how the guys look out there?
Yeah, we're trying to develop a culture, a style of play for sure, and part of that is the violence which we play and the aggression, the urgency, and all that. Today, at times, it went a little too far, and we got to learn how to manage that. You know, it's you're going to get agitated, and especially when you're playing really good defense, the offense is going to get very agitated. So you got to anticipate punches being thrown, things being said, people getting pushed, and in those moments, you got to thrive and not retaliate. And so it's a good lesson to be learned today.
How do you kind of manage that? Because you have guys competing, right? But
right.
also, like, you have to tone it down a bit as well.
I think celebrating the guys that take it right there and push it as far as that violence and urgency and intensity, but don't go past the line. Don't throw the punch. Don't retaliate, you know, and the more we can take it there and not retaliate and celebrate it, I think that's when you create that style of play.
Are there any players that you feel do a really good job of kind of walking right up to that line, but then being able to pull it back?
I saw Leonard Floyd today, which was like made my heart so happy because Flo is very, like, I haven't been around him a whole lot, other than observing him from afar on other teams, and you know, in the spring he's very calm, he's very cool, and I'm seeing this other side of him now, this intensity, this edge. This fierce loyalty to his teammates, especially defensively, and it's really cool to see. And to see him not only stand up for his guys today, but at the same time not take it too far, not throw the punch. I thought was a really cool demonstration of what it's supposed to look like.
Rick, I know you said you don't want them to take it too far, obviously, but what part of you as a coach celebrates that intensity that they're showing in day 5 of training camp?
Intensity all day long. Awesome. That's exactly what we need. Great defense does not exist without it. You know, it's just, it's controlled anger, it's controlled chaos, it's controlled aggression, all those things. And that takes discipline and it takes work. And I'm glad we're getting to that place of where it's right there. I want to throw a punch and I don't, you know. So the more that we can do that out here and take it to that place, the better we'll be in those games when that stuff happens, because it's going to happen. It's guaranteed.
Injuries are a part of football and everything like that. And there's some guys from last year that were injured coming back now after, you know, season injuries. You as a coach, what do you look for from guys that were injured last year, missed a lot of time, coming back now this year to get it ready?
Yeah, the biggest thing with me is patience, you know, and really understanding. Some of these guys have been away from football for almost a full calendar year. So there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be moments of getting acclimated. So really reserving judgment on who they are as a player as they get, you know, back acquainted to what we're doing. And you know, truth be told, this defense is in year 1. I know this staff and Roz in his second year here, but what we're doing defensively is it's very different to what was done last year. So it's a balance between all that.
Yeah, how come you balance Caden Ellis's propensity for a pass rush versus not doing it too much so that he can do all the other stuff he has to do?
Yeah, he's a rare human being, a rare player. I've been around a lot like him. It was amazing. It's these guys that, you know, at times you're very careful about the level of detail and the amount of nuance and that you give someone, because at times it slows players down. And I would say it slows more players down than it doesn't. He is the exact opposite. I think the more information you give him, the better he gets as I learn him. You know, we had this little coaching point about striking a match on this motion that we were doing today, and mid-play he's screaming out the coaching point. You know, he has this amazing ability to apply the information in real time. So most of the time I would say don't dilute guys, you know, ability to really get put on repeat and do the same thing over and over again. He's a guy that we're going to push to be versatile and do a lot of things. Now I'm going to really contradict myself, because I normally don't listen to the polls. I don't listen to all the external noise, but I did see some things regarding, you know, the way the world, the league perceives Caden as purely a stacked linebacker, and maybe it's not what I think, you know, but to see him as a pure stacked linebacker, the way he's grown and where he's gone with his game, this is beyond the rushing. This is beyond all the blitzing, the versatility. This is just pure stacked linebacker. I think he's taking huge strides regarding that. So I'm excited for the world to see what he's become as stacked linebacker plus all the other stuff he's going to do.
Rick, I want to ask you about James Pierce Jr. Obviously, he's playing real hard out there. And he was in the middle of some of the things today, and some of the offensive linemen were taking umbrage with him. What do you think that is? Where does that come from?
Yeah, he's prideful as it gets. You know, he loves this game. He's got deep love for his teammates. And he's prideful, and he wants to come out here and create a strong impression on everybody, and himself included, that he can do this and he can do this at a high level. And I think when you're in that place of just like every ounce of your body's trying to prove who you are, sometimes like it gets to that place where it's, you know, it can get a little wacky sometimes, and his anger got the best of him a little bit, and it's going to be a great learning experience for him. Now, what I'll say is the really promising part of all of that exchange was after the fact, a lot of young guys, after a moment of like real anger, frustration, and you know, getting out of whack, they're lost for practice, you know, and he was the opposite. It was like he reset, he came back, took a deep breath, and I think he made 3 or 4 like really amazing plays after the fact. So it's promising.
You rookies, I don't think I saw Jalen out there today, or is there anything with him, or is he just working off the side today?
Yeah, they're just working on some stuff with his body, but he's gonna be all right.
What are your early impressions of Rook so far?
Explosive, long, fast, strong. He put his, like, we are so fortunate. We get to work against, in my opinion, the best O-line in football on a daily basis. And to see when he really fires off the ball and he really puts his hands on people, like people move. And so to refine his game and to get him up to speed as far as, you know, his understanding of what we're trying to get accomplished, it's exciting because the sky's the limit for him. This guy's got potential just out of this world because of all the physical gifts that he has. So, and he's got such drive that he's one of those guys that you know he's going to get there. It's going to take some time, but he's willing to pay the price. So I'm excited to be on this journey with him. I am.
Jeff, you saw a couple of punch outs yesterday from the secondary. You know, I know you guys feel like you've added some playmakers in the draft. Where do you feel you all are at in that kind of playmaking mindset and hunting for the ball?
We'll see. You know, like it's so early, it's hard to tell. You know, it really is. But you do see. It's funny. One of our first days here in camp, we had some missed shots in the ball because, for whatever reason, just hasn't been ingrained in them yet. You know, as far as like every single time we're on this grass, we're ball hunting, because ultimately that dictates the game. And the runner ran by my cues the other day, and he tagged off like a lot of players do to demonstrate I had good leverage. I would have made a good tackle right here and the whole thing. And but making it very clear to him after the fact, like, no, that's not good enough. Like, we're going to take a shot right there. And ultimately taking the shots makes us better tacklers as well. And, you know, everybody talks about Peanut Tillman, you know, the best that's ever done it. I think we'd all agree with that. And I asked him the other day, like, do you know what position Peanut Tillman played? You know, and corner, you know, and to see him immediately take that to the field the next day and get 2 out was pretty cool.
Coach, you talked to Brandon Trice out there. He said they asked him about what do you like about the scheme, or how you like your scheme. He said he loves it, and because it's all about get off. Is that something? Is that scheme, or is that more so mindset for you? Teaching that.
It's a little bit of both, for sure. You know, like I'm not saying our way is the best way, but it's a way that I believe in, and I've always believed that defense should be on our terms. You know, offense, it's designed to be on their terms, and they dictate the personnel groupings. They snap the ball when they want to snap it, but beyond that, like we will dictate how this game goes, and to do that, like, there has to be, in my opinion, a little bit less of a read element, more of an attack mentality. And so that's what we're ingraining in these guys. And the beauty of it is we have guys that are built for this life, guys that are aggressive and tough. And Braylon is absolutely one of those guys. So to see these guys get accustomed to what we're doing, because like just on paper, the surface level, it's just get off and go. And is it partly that? For sure, but there's a bigger part. There is a controlled chaos. There's an organized chaos that we create. So learning that as we go, and we'll do that. Like, we got 1,100 snaps at stud front, which is our 4-down spacing, and we're going to get another 1,100 before we line up and really play against Tampa Bay. So I can't wait for these guys just to learn every little nuance and detail at the front.
Jeff, that attacking mentality, kind of like dialing back the read element, things like that, feels like another nuanced thing, kind of like walking up that physicality mindset
For sure.
without, you know, going overboard. Like, how that feels complicated. Like, does that put a lot more on you as a coach to kind of say, hey, here's right where this line is going to be, but you got to do all of this while the bullets are flying, and stuff is happening?
Yeah, and that's why we don't have a ton of defense. You know, if we had a ton of defense, there's no way that I can grade in these principles, these techniques, this mindset. Some of the habits that we're trying to break have been ingrained since Pop Warner, not just college, not just previous NFL regimes, since Pop Warner. So you're breaking them down first to really understand what we're trying to get accomplished. The beauty of doing 1,100 reps of one front, like you learn all those nuances, you learn all those little details. So, and then just not one day, not one moment, one rep deviating or relenting regarding that detail and making this thing right.
Coach, Coach Morris talked about being able to wanting to see what they need to see as far as being able to determine whether or not guys are going to play in the preseason. For you talked about the 1,100 snaps and everything like that. So with all these young guys you guys are going to play this year, do you think that you will push for certain guys who might not get the necessary reps that you feel that they need to get?
Yeah, I think every single human being out there is an individual in their own, and we'll have to evaluate as we go. There's going to be certain guys that pick this up faster than others. There's certain guys where, as we get closer to the preseason, we're like, he needs more, and or there's an element where he needs full speed live reps in a game. So I think it's by individual. I don't think it's a blanket policy. I think we evaluate each guy and especially the young guys and who needs it and who doesn't need it and make the correct decisions regarding that.
Yeah, Coach, how is Devon doing, and where are you at with that inside linebacker stack next to Caden and how they will be competing here to get that job?
Yeah, I'm excited about that entire linebacker group. I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it, that the character of this entire defense, linebacker group included, the DNA is just so unique. Like, they want to be pushed and coached and challenged. That's not a universal theme amongst all NFL teams. That group in particular, the linebacker group, is probably one of the most competitive I've ever been around. They want all the details. They want to be pushed. They want to be the guy standing in front of the huddle. Divine is absolutely one of those guys. He is, you learn a guy in free agency and you ask people about him because we study the tape. We see the athlete. We see the toughness. We see the instincts. We saw all that. And we knew it. And we're excited about it. What you don't always know for yourself is the character of the man, the learner, the intelligence, all that stuff. And I've been so blown away because when you don't hear a lot, people either lying to you because they want to keep them, or they're lying to you because they're trying to get rid of them. When you don't hear much about a guy, it typically means he's a little gem that people are trying to hide, and that's kind of been the case with him. I've just been so excited about the person and the player that we've added to this team, this roster. He's going to help us tremendously this year.
Overall impressions, day 5, any major takeaways?
Like, good defenses, in my opinion, they have good days, they have okay days, good days, okay days. They have a good day, they take a deep breath, and then they get hit on a couple. And I felt like they came out day one, and obviously, like I've said, not to give them any excuses or outs, but it's year one in our system, and we had a day that I felt like the offense got the best of us. I felt like the next day we came out in live bullets. I felt like we got the best of them. And I felt it today that, like, offense came back and got their day, and we can't have that. We can't. The great ones, they step on your neck and they keep it on your neck, and we gotta foster that mentality here.
Last one for me, dress socks. Any reason for the dress socks?
I preach consistency. The defensive staff and the defensive players are embarrassed about my dress socks, but I'm gonna wear them every day. So if I'm gonna preach consistency, I gotta live it. So dress socks it is. Huh? Yeah, there's no doubt about that, right?
Amazing.
They breathe good, soft cotton,
Absolutely.
everything.
Sunday, yes.
That's right.